Keep it. Abby Hansen. Here. John Hawkins.
Here.
Megan McFarland.
Here.
Matt McKinney.
Here.
Logan Welch.
Here. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Really stepping on it. This started early.
Okay. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item 1, petitions, communications and requests. This is the time of the meeting that a citizen may address the council on a matter not on the agenda. Except in cases of emergency, the city council will not take any action at this meeting, but may ask city staff to research the matter, have the matter placed on the agenda for a future meeting. Anyone have anything? Oh, you put your hand up. Oh, okay. All right. What do we got some stuff on this week then? We got ladies' night out Thursday night. Oh, homecoming, yeah.
Downtown trick or treat coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. So item 2 is minutes, claims, reports, licenses and requests. This is the following items have been deemed non-controversial routine actions to be approved by the council in a single motion. If a council member or a member of the audience wishes to have an item removed from this list, it will be considered on its normal sequence on the agenda. I have item A as minutes of September 16 for the city council meeting. And B is claims, including payroll ending September 21st and the fund list. And C is recommend approval for issuance of beer and liquor licenses by the Iowa Department of Commerce for the following: renewal of a Class C retail alcohol license and catering privilege for 2nd Street Emporium, Bellina's Management LLP at 615 2nd Street, Webster City. D is a motion on street closure request from the Chamber of Commerce for the downtown trick or treat for October 31st from 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. And 2nd Street from Superior to Prospect. And E is a motion on a street closure request from the Chamber of Commerce for the Christmas in the City lighted parade on December 7th from 4 to 6:30 p.m., which is 2nd Street from Seneca Street to Prospect Street. Then the intersection closure at Prospect Street, and second to allow for lineup and to disperse in the back parking lot. Seneca Street is between Elm Street and 2nd Street alley across will be blocked. Make sense to everybody?
Move
Okay.
to approve collectively.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
You guys need to get up and address anything to the council tonight? No? I'll give us your names and address, already. All right. General agenda. We have a nuisance hearing. Well, it looks like we haven't got anyone here for the hearing, but we might as well talk about it here at 300 Apple Avenue.
all right. Just to give a little background, the nuisances at the address you mentioned, the police chief's here to give an overview on what was discovered. We are holding this hearing at the request of the individual that's actually living in the camper that is the nuisance, not as a result of the property owners. And so as we proceed through this at the end, you can close the hearing, and then we were just seeking direction on whether continuing to abate the nuisance or another mode that the council would like. So with that, I'll turn it over to Chief Morgan. He can provide you with the presentation.
Good evening.
Okay.
Officer Basinger does our nuisances. He created a PowerPoint presentation. Unfortunately, he could not be here tonight, so I'll go through it with you. We received a complaint on a camper that someone was living in 300 Apple Avenue. We also received a complaint of parking on the grass. So Officer Basinger researched it, found that the property belonged to a Craig Severson. He observed illegal parking, living in a temporary structure, and as of the 6th of October, the parking issue's been addressed and taken care of.
We shut it off because it kept.
Oh, you did, okay.
Next slide, Carrie.
I'm sorry.
A first notice of violation was issued on September 11th, which gave 14 days to vacate living in the trailer. The 14 days was selected because the city code allows temporary housing for 14 days. So we follow that. It was served to a female by the name of Brenda at the residence. Her response was so, with a question mark. That indicated to us that they don't think it's a problem. So what's actually occurring. Next slide, please. The code we cited, 50-153, no temporary buildings, trailers, mobile homes, tents, potentially portable structures shall be used for any purpose in any district. We referred to section B. There's no exemption from the rules for overnight camping trailers, travel trailers, and tents. So they're held to the 2-week standard. Those are photographs. You can see the slide outs are extended, the awning's extended. And the picture on the right, there appears to be some kind of privacy fence put up, indicating that someone is living there, using it for more than just wearing it out or preparing to put it away for the winter. Couple more photographs. And then the next slide is give you kind of an overview.
This line.
Okay. An overview on what we've done in the past. We've had a complaint of a camper with people living in it on Grove Street. They were cited for a temporary structure. One on 3rd Street, they were also cited. 700 block of Park Avenue, that vehicle or that camper was towed from the property. Prospect Street, camper was removed. John Street, there was an individual living in a tent that was removed. 900 block of Bank Street, the individual found housing somewhere else. And then 100 East Street, there was an individual in the back that made a go to where a temporary shack. He has since moved into an apartment. So that's kind of what we've done in the past. And I'm just looking for some guidance on what the council would like to do. If we're gonna proceed with a citation or.
The citation is the next step in the process, and I believe that's what the police department and the community development department are recommending that we proceed with.
Is anyone living in the house?
Well, we can't allow it to go on. We can't. So your next step's the right step to do, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, I agree. The citations are next step. What would be after the citation? Continue without citation again, or does it go to court?
No, I'd have to go to court on it, it's cited into court. Yeah.
the problem's going to be, I suppose, because now I see you said that the owner's not the guy that's living in it. Right. So he's going to get the fine. I guess it's up to him. It is up to him to remove it.
He's allowing it on his property, so
Yeah.
it's his responsibility.
So it's his problem, but yeah. Okay.
So we need a motion on what
To move.
this thing
Direct the-
wants to do.
Yeah, that it, to declare it a nuisance and to have the police department cite him for nuisance immediately.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Did you want to say something in the back there? Did you come in to say anything tonight, or you just
I'm not gonna say something, I don't know.
did we cover everything you wanted
Well,
covered? Or?
yes and no. That property on Apple there you're talking about, I think Megan knew. I think there's some drug stuff going on in that camper. And that camper, I know, you can't live in the camper. He has lived there. If he put straw around it, this will be 3 years he's put straw around it. And I know he's probably told the officers that nobody's living in it. Well, they are living in it. And The camper itself, half of it is not even on their property. It's on Mrs. Bravez's land. And the reason I know is I take care of the mowing of Bravez's property over there. And now the other day, they made a comment to one of the neighbors that the next time I go over and mow, they're gonna call the police and they're gonna try to get me for trespassing. Well, that ain't gonna work because I'm the one that gets hired to take care of the property. And the other thing is, and I tried to get a picture yesterday, but he took it down. He had his drain tube going out and draining it on the land. Well, one day when I was mowing, I took my foot and I kicked it back underneath the camper. And the next time I went back, he had a hole about this deep in there and he tried to hide it with 4x4s. Well, now since all this started, he's got rid of the 4x4s and now he's took the sewer pipe clear off of the house and he covered the hole up. And I don't think all of you knew all that.
Yeah.
But, and I think she says the same thing, because she sees more than I do, and I think there's drugs going in there and out of there. And now there's a gal that comes over there instead of parking out front, since she knows I'm watching, she's watching, she takes her car and drives it up Cherry Street and comes in on the back side of the property where a apartment house is, then she walks across the back half a lot of Revez's to go in the camper. So whatever they tell you ain't true.
Can you give me your name and address, please?
My name is Dick Conklin.
Okay.
My address is 1720 Lynx Avenue, apartment 302. But that's where we live, but I've got a man cave built over there.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's where I'm at 90% of the time.
Okay.
That's why I see all this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So item B is a resolution transferring cash to provide funding for certain projects, to repay internal loans, reconcile funds and TIF entries. Good evening, Dodie.
Evening. Well, this is just the second set of annual transfers brought to council. Quite a few, but the majority of them are related to projects, establishing new funds to better track the activity. Well, we have the American Rescue, ARPA. We're now transferring to the water operations to reimburse for the water portion of the AMI project. I think the rest of them are pretty standard, but did you have any specific questions?
The only thing I wanted to mention is that should assist the water fund, stabilizing that cash balance as was planned in the budget you adopted. There's also funds being established for the projects that are associated with the bonds that you issued this year. So all of those bonds, the electric, the water, and the street have funds that are receiving those. Some of them are spread across different funds because so for instance, the electric had Reisner, but also had the underground work that's being done. And then a little bit of the phase one improvements that we're hopeful we won't have to go out again and would be able to fund with savings that you've had at the bid results. The upshot of the transfers to the new funds is that Dodie submits the treasurer's report each month, and those will be on those so you can track the project costs as well. In addition to some of the other capital improvement reporting we'll hopefully bring to you at the beginning of next year. So.
For promotion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye. Thanks, Dad. Item C is a resolution approving the development agreement between the City of Webster City and Lift WC in connection with the 100,000 emergency catalyst grant for Lift WC's partial rehabilitation of 608 2nd Street in Webster City, Iowa.
Mayor. So this item, excuse me, is the last item needed for the acceptance and administration of the emergency catalyst grant. The Lift WC as the beneficiary. So this would be for the partial rehabilitation project of 608 Second Street, which was the property that received significant fire damage back in November of last year. I attached the development agreement for your review, and if you have any questions, I can definitely answer those.
Obviously, I'll abstain from voting on it.
So this is a pass through from the state that was awarded to Webster City for that project at 608. So that $100,000 is coming from the state of Iowa. And we're pleased with the progress on the building. The front of the building was rehabilitated earlier this year, and we can already observe that work's going on with the roof, which hopefully will stabilize it and get it back into use. This was also critical for the theater project because those buildings are connected. And so that's one of the reasons that we pursued this particular building and strategy as diligently as we did.
Thank you, Arian.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Call for motion.
To approve.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
D is a resolution fixing date for a meeting on the proposition of the disposal of interest in real property owned by the municipal and gas utility under the agreement for the use of city utility distribution facilities and the transportation of natural gas for October 21st at 6:05 p.m.
Yep. So as the council and the community and the press is aware, earlier this year, we set a ballot question to renew the lease of the city's natural gas system that was installed and operated for some time by the city to Black Hills. Of course, 20 years ago, and even before then, the city leased operation of that system to whichever natural gas provider was serving the community. That now is Black Hills. This resolution is the setting a date for the public hearing on the agreement that outlines the responsibilities of both parties. I will not go into detail on the agreement, but can answer any questions if you'd like. But we do believe that Black Hills is in agreement with this. We did receive confirmation from their legal counsel that they agreed. And so we are ready to proceed to public hearing and adopting that, and can provide any information to the public that they may have as they're considering that question, as is readily made available in our budget document. That lease is at least $150,000 in revenue for the community this year, and it's growing to over 200 with the new lease.
I move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item E is a resolution fixing date for a hearing on a proposed ordinance renewing gas franchise with Black Hills Energy for October 21st at 6:05 p.m.
So again, this is part of leasing the system. We also have a franchise with Black Hills to operate in our rights of way for systems that they particularly own, and then also for the system they're leasing from us. This is that agreement. It has been on the books. There are a few minor modifications that our legal counsel discuss when you actually take up this for action. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them in advance, or they can address the changes of the ordinance at the time that you take it up for consideration. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. Okay, so in Webster City, just for the public's benefit and the council's maybe reminder, cities in Iowa are lawfully able to impose a franchise fee on these types of agreements for costs that you incur, and for the luxury of allowing the company to operate in your right of way. Webster City does not impose a franchise fee for our natural gas system, I believe primarily because of the lease that you have for the system that you own. That is open to you in this agreement, but as I mentioned, you don't impose that. So that provides the background on this piece, and it's a benefit to the public.
Okay, call for a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item F is a resolution approving the project closeout for Wilson Brewer Courthouse Structural Improvement Project with Schofield Engineering and Peterson Construction.
Staff is pleased to bring you a resolution closing out the courthouse project. As you are aware, the Wilson Brewer Park Foundation, through an agreement with Hamilton County and the city of Webster City, was formed this year and has been funded with the proceeds of that agreement that both the city and the county provide, as well as the in-kind donation by donors. We were essentially the host for a project that was funded by the county, which is the rehabilitation of the original Hamilton County Courthouse. Because the foundation is given powers to oversee the park, we recommend that we close that out on our side, transfer oversight to the project to the foundation. It will also allow them through this process to access information through Hamilton County. What's the enhancement? Enhance Hamilton County Fund. So they can be aware of the donations that are coming in. So those funds that we had access to and were drawing down will now be transferred to the foundation. None of those funds, I believe, were sourced by the city. Those were all funded by the county. Am I right, Dodie? Or was there a little bit from the city?
Not on those.
Okay, all right.
I'm sure the mold like them.
We will still retain oversight of the Mulberry Church and work with Ms. Miller on the disposition of those funds.
Moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
I know it's a little off topic, but related to the siding repair. Do we have any kind of timing estimates? I know we've had some people ask.
Tomorrow,
Catch it.
so once they know that, hopefully they'll.
They've got a meeting. I think they've got a meeting coming up here. If you want to go.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah. So I thought it was.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Zach, over to you.
With the Brewer Street and Wilson Avenue reconstruction improvement project coming up and the 2025 Fairmeadow Drive one, we did 46 easements in our office for those ones, and those have been given to city staff to go out and get signatures on. Same goes for the sidewalk one that you guys were approving on by farm credit, get that one finally done. And then we have for abandoned properties, we have 2 scheduled in 2 weeks from today, 2 trials, 2 additional ones that we're waiting for court dates, and then a 5th one we filed last week, and now we potentially have a 6th one that we'll be filing to go along with the other ones that we've taken this year. So you guys are gonna own more houses, properties. So congratulations.
Okay. Call for motion to adjourn.
To approve. Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thanks everybody for coming.
Get that.